Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Fake news played a role in this election.
I'm really surprised the BBC is reporting fake news.
Are we fake news, Kellyanne? Is CNN fake news?
No, I don't think CNN is fake news.
Well, they might not be, but what is fake news anyway? Sometimes full-on fiction shared on social media, sometimes tall tales exaggerated to the extreme. We've come to Hungary to try and find James Dawson, a British far-right financier who finds sanctuary for his views here in a country with a right-wing government. He's a consultant to a host of dubious news sites.
A network of websites all lead back to this address here in Budapest. Pro-Trump websites in the US, anti-immigration sites in the UK, right-wing websites across the whole of Eastern Europe. But unlike many other so-called fake news sites, merely making money isn't the end game here. Regime change is, because behind all of them, at the heart of these sites, is a group called Knights Templar International. And for them, internet propaganda is merely the latest weapon in an age-old crusade.
Linked to all these sites is a group called Knights Templar International, Christian fundamentalists who believe they're on a mission from God.
We call it crusade.
Is that how you see it? You see yourself involved in a holy war?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hi there, I'm a journalist from Channel 4 News in London, and we're trying to speak to Knights Templar and James Dawson.
James Dawson is the spokesman for Knights Templar International. And he's no stranger to the far right. He raised millions for the BNP, then bankrolled Britain First, the far-right political party, and now he's gone international and moved into advising news sites, of a sort. Hillary Clinton talking to the dead on patriotnewsagency.com. Angela Merkel using the hand signs of secret societies on thisisengland.org. All websites that lead back to James Dawson and Knights Templar International. All websites claiming to be reputable, credible news sources. Knights Templar are experts at exploiting social media to promote their message, according to former BNP member turned anti-fascist campaigner Matthew Collins.
They are pumping out thousands and thousands of pieces of literature. They're offering websites, Facebook pages to people. They've worked out how to use the algorithms that Facebook uses, and I think to a degree Twitter might use, so they can exploit them.
There's another reason these sites look like credible sources of news, the credible brands whose adverts appear on them. And that's because of software like Google's AdSense displaying targeted ads. Often unknown to both the reader and the advertiser, it's an algorithm responsible for ads by respected news outlets like the Financial Times, the New Statesman magazine, or brands like the Open University that has placed them on the pages of the Trump tub-thumping Patriot News Agency. The Financial Times, New Statesman and Open Universities all told us the integrity of their brands were paramount, and they were frustrated to see adverts on these sites. The problem is the nature of the algorithms, they say, and they would like tech providers to do more. And Google told us they disable ad serving against websites that break strict policies of malice or misrepresentation, and urge users to contact them if they're concerned rules will be broken. Winter months are slow months for tourism in Budapest. Not that a bit of cold seems to deter Mr. Dawson.
So what is it about Hungary? Why are far-right bit players from the fringes of British politics cropping up 1,000 miles from home? Well, here their views aren't on the fringes. Here their views won 20% of the vote at the last general election. Here their views are represented significantly in Parliament.
Dawson has been able to fit right in with the far-right scene here, caught in the Jobbik party. We've come to ask about Dawson's involvement. A decade ago, Jobbik barely existed. As you can see, they've grown. At this Jobbik rally 3 years ago, thousands gathered for a political party that has openly vilified Jews, gays and foreigners. Today, they are the country's official opposition, and last month relaunched the party with a policy shift to the mainstream.
This is now the era of the new Jobbik, the softer Jobbik, but some would say you've had the views you've had for the last 10 years. Have they really changed, or are you just a wolf in sheep's clothing now?
I won't deny it, absolutely. But the packaging is different, and you have to be able to...
And is it the packaging that's important?
Well, sometimes. I mean, of course, if you go into a shop, then the packaging and the appearance also appeals.
A few alternative facts of their own, perhaps. So what about the impact of fake news? It's awful, they say, but then said all media can misinform, even if unintentionally.
And what do you think of the ones on purpose?
the majority of our battles, and this you can think of military battles or economic battles or trade battles or whatever, are fought through the soft power, by the means of soft power, and the media is also within the soft power.
No surprise then the affinity between the party and James Dowson. This picture taken inside the Hungarian parliament as guests of Jobbik according to the Knights Templar International. And Mr Dowson is supportive too of the militias that back Jobbik. This is him this week.
Just because they're big guys with muscles and no hair doesn't mean they're any less a human being. They are my friends and I'm very proud to be associated with them.
Not that Mr Dowson limits his work to just Hungary. Here he is supplying a Bulgarian militia who patrol the borders for migrants.
The Knights Templar have came and gave them ballistic vests, drones, night vision goggles to help these people in the job that they've got. These are not Boy Scouts coming through here.
Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban has already drawn the country right of centre, with his clampdown on media, clampdown on migrants and a razor-wire fence around its borders. The allure for the far right isn't that surprising to journalists here, but it is deeply concerning.
Hungary has a far right-wing government led by Viktor Orban. In Hungary, the majority of the residents refused the migration from the east, from Syria, from Afghanistan.
James Dowson told us that alongside the many thousands of accurate articles on those websites, there are 2 or 3 that he would question. He told us he's delighted to advise many patriot groups around the world, but didn't actually own the website or operate on the behalf of any group, website or company. He added his main activities with Knights Templar International have been delivering large quantities of winter clothes to poor European families. Tonight, the articles we flagged have been pulled off the web. The internet is a few fake stories lighter.